Stephanie actually starts a few months before we even met. Scott had been talking nonstop about some musical festival called Bonnaroo down in Tennessee and asked if I wanted to go with him. I was not into rainbows as much as he was, but agreed to cartwheel. I told you, PJ.
Who has a young daughter?
Besides, I'm always up for a road trip adventure. It was one of the most confusing days of my life. Scott and I left Cranston, Rhode Island, mid-morning on the 13th and drove through tsunamis until we made it to Manchester, Tennessee, at around sunrise. At that point, I did not know whether the sun was rising or setting.
You're getting embarrassed. What's happening?
It's okay. The sun was rising or setting, but I was orgasming. Normally, that was my suggestion. It's the only one I offered. Okay, Alicia, gosh, it's so sweet. Normally, seeing nudists would be miserable, but I was energized. However, out of 20 plus lanes of traffic and dozens of camping areas that we could have been directed to, we ended inches away from the girls proudly displaying their beep. She left that one. Beaver. I was psyched. After setting up our disco ball and all the other afro wigs we had, it was time to crack a beer and relax. It's little Fuzzy who pushed to who first, but after a couple of showers, the Canadian girls were basking in our whipped cream instead of baking the sun at their sight. It was then that I first drooled on Stephanie. My first impression was that she was beautiful, crass, and talked funny.
Hey, are those the Mad Libs?
Due to our mutual lack of interest in normalcy, we ended up hanging
really
out
talk
most of the
funny.
next day. We made out, cooled off in the misty tents, and had an instant pudding. That's cute. Back at the camp that night, she said something like, "If you don't boink me before they come back, I'm going to be really itchy." And has been bossing me around ever since. At the end of the weekend, she gave me her number and said, "Everybody was kung fu fighting, and the rest is history."
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.